promise you tomorrow morning I'll sit and I'll think 10 years ago, as I said earlier, I make no apology for saying it again, we're going to Peterhead, we're going to Elgin, bottom of the 3rd division, or back in the third division of Scottish football. So to come back that in a decade, and I was chuffed to bits for the first half performance. I really, really was disappointed. As Michael said, I'm sore that we lost 6 goals in the second half. The gulf was there for everybody to see. But of course there's an element of pride, of course there is.
Yeah, and we all loved having 6 British teams in the Champions League. We're sad that both the Scottish sides have gone out, but it's all about progression.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens to them going forwards from here. Right, let's let you know what else has happened, particularly in this group this evening. Obviously, Liverpool have a position that they're in now, is that they haven't guaranteed their qualification yet, but they are 6 ahead of Ajax at the moment. Obviously, only 6 points up for grabs. So a single point will guarantee Liverpool qualification.
Right, it was a spectacular second half. It looked like almost an exhibition at times.
Yeah, it was great. I think obviously what we expected definitely happened. Obviously with the fans behind them, especially in the beginning. They will try to give everything, and you have to be very composed and play the ball quick from side to side, between the lines. Get on the ball, put your body in between the ball and the player, and play with composure. And I think at times we did it. In the first half we could have done it better, but second half we did it much more better. You're
one of the players who've actually played here before in a Scottish League Cup a few years ago, so you'll have known that they were...
I've never played there,
No,
I was playing. The game was at Hampden Park, so it was my first time here, and obviously it was a great result. Good night in Glasgow.
And a fantastic performance by your strikers tonight, let's say that. I mean, Bobby Firmino showing in the first half and through into the second, and Mo Salah was ruthless.
Yeah, obviously they had to come, the Rangers in this case, so the space will be there if you play it well, and they obviously the quality they have, and they showed again tonight is we need for the rest of the season, of course. So yeah, good goals.
Yeah, an important statement tonight. Well, there's a lot of people questioning Liverpool, and you've heard all this before, but I mean, it's an important for morale and to boost everybody's confidence.
Well, obviously it's not a bad thing winning 7-1 over here. Obviously, I think from the outside point of view, obviously everyone expected us to win here, but we take it game at a time. Obviously, we know that we're in a tough period, and we take it game by game, and that's how we approach tonight. That's how we will approach from now on the big one on Sunday. They are in fantastic form. It's always difficult games against each other for both sides. So we'll prepare well, recover, and be ready for Sunday.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you very much.
Is there an argument significant in terms of Liverpool's season and where they found themselves in recent days?
Quite possibly, yeah. There was always the concern after everybody questioning Liverpool's start. Would it be everybody saying it might be a good time to play Liverpool?
Can't go with the fact you've basically lost your voice up.
Absolutely. No, I think for the first 45 minutes was a game. But Liverpool just took it to a new level and stepped up. They didn't step up 1 gear, stepped up 2 or 3 gears. Yeah. And it was a mismatch in the second half.
And people have loved enjoying watching Liverpool struggle. That's often how we operate, isn't it, in this country. But let's really look at what this is about. They had that huge season last year, sort of 64 games, hardly any break over the summer. They've had serious injuries. It's really interesting to see how much people are relishing it. And actually, if we look at the facts around why it may have happened, you could argue that this is still a hangover from the fact they could have won the lot last season and didn't.
Well, exactly, and I'm not sure. I mean, struggling by their standards, it's been an average start to the season. But
domestically, 14 points off the top.
Champions League, it's virtually signed and sealed after 4 games. Still 2 games left in the group, so that's a big tick in the box. And yeah, domestically, they're off the pace at the moment. They're putting a couple of incredible performances. I mean, we've seen a 7-1 tonight. We've seen a 9-0 against Bournemouth. Started the season sloppy, no question about it. And I still think there's a few cracks. We looked at them in the first half, and we were. I'm sure we'll go into a bit more detail about the goal that they conceded and another goal that they could have conceded. So I still think there's a little... They're not quite the same, but But these people that are saying, oh, Liverpool have gone, they're not the same, and all this rubbish. I mean, well, that's what it is. It's rubbish. Yeah. Don't forget, a couple of seasons ago, Liverpool had a really poor season in the COVID season. I mean, really poor season. And look what happened the next season. They bounced back. Last season, they were inches away from being one of the all-time greatest teams. And now a few games in, everyone's saying they're rubbish. I mean, come on.
Listen, you can say that people are reveling in the decline or the mini decline of what we're seeing at the beginning of the season. There are going to be opposition fans that are going to be happy with that because Liverpool have been successful the last few years. But I don't think they're as far away as people are making out. And you saw today, Mo Salah, he may have been a little bit off form, but he comes on today, gets a hat-trick. I think the important thing today is there's individual moments in this game that could switch from being people lacking confidence to going, I feel like I'm back again. And it doesn't matter who it's against. Putting the ball in the back of the net, I wasn't one that done that. These guys will tell you that feeling can't get bored of that. All it does is breed confidence, whether it's a tap-in or whether it's a worldie. He managed to get 3 today. Firmino managed to get 2. I'm sure them players will be going into this next game against Man City, huge game, bouncing with confidence, but still, I think there will be fragile minds as well when things maybe don't go their way. This team are accustomed to going one behind in games. Yeah. It's happening far too often. That's one of the things I think that will be irking the manager. He'll be sitting there going, why is this? Why can't we start the game properly? Why are we giving teams a 1-0 goal start at the moment? They're little things they've got to change for their season to make a drastic change.
Well, let's have a look then at the goals from the second half. Firmino, I mean, brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. I said before the game, I was a great admirer of his game knowledge, his game intelligence, and I just really think he's an extremely clever player.
You said you'd like to have played him, haven't you? The way he plays.
He's one of these players. If you make a run, he knows where you are. There's only certain players have got an awareness of people where they are on the pitch. And he's one of them. Whether he's receiving the ball or he's making a run, he just knows. He's looking there to see where Tavernier is.
Great ball, isn't it?
It's a brilliant ball. Ken should probably went back with him a lot earlier. But I'm looking at Firmino. The first thing he does, he looks to see where the right back is, knowing, OK, I'll stay this side, and that's where I'll make my run. He's just a very, very... keeps the ball down well, obviously. And the finish, you could argue, Almagre's a little bit unlucky. But it's a brilliant goal from a very, very clever player.
Yeah, he was the star player, I thought, tonight. Yes, Mo Salah came on and scored a hat-trick, but it's a lot easier to do that as a substitute. Tired legs and everything else.
And a great assist.
Well, I mean, talk to me about that. The ball is slightly behind him, and most people would take a touch with their left and flick it through with their right, but no, he's just improvises. He's just total quality, isn't he? But as I say, it's hard breaking the deadlock in a game or equalising when it's tight, and he scored 2 really, really important goals that set Liverpool on the way, and the rest was the icing on the cake. No question. I
think in this atmosphere as well, some players, because it's such an electric atmosphere, that everything's hustle bustle. Never the case with Firmino. Everything when it comes into him slows down, plays the game at his pace, and the way his fluidity through the game, like you see there, he doesn't even have to shuffle his feet. He just improvises. That's the Brazilian samba that he's got in his game that is different to a lot of the other players.
I think he's one of these players, Firmino, when in the 45 minutes where it's all a lot of it's passion, a lot of it's high intensity. Great players like Firmino look as though they've got a split second more time on the ball.
And also he's been needed because Sadio Mane's obviously left. Mo Salah, there's been a few question marks about him. Nunez is getting used to the Premier League. Suddenly this guy's been absolutely central to Liverpool.
But even with that, you would still say maybe at the start of the season, a lot of people would have put him in 5th place, in terms of the pecking order. Now, the biggest game in the Premier League is about to take place at the weekend. Can't imagine he's not playing, so he's already, had such a good season and such a good recent form that I don't think Jurgen Klopp can leave him out at the weekend.
And using the striker's mindset, what does tonight do for Mo Salah?
Oh, what a breath of fresh air it is. I think Rio was spot on his assessment when he said, you look at Liverpool tonight, second half, brilliant. Manchester City will watch that game tonight, for example, and see Liverpool saying, excellent second half. However, they'll see 1 or 2 things that they'll fancy. Manchester City will fancy a little bit. I've no doubt about that at the weekend. However, Salah, I looked as though Salah was needing, throughout the start of the season effectively, he's not been the same. He's needed a little bit of boost, he's needed a wee jag. Tonight he comes off the bench, he'll have gone maybe mentally a little bit from there, back up to there. And now you can guarantee, he'll be really looking forward to the weekend.
Talking of people scoring a goal to...
Exactly what I got.
And we'll see in a moment. It's been quite passionate in the studio as well. But let's just get into it, though, and sort of work out how the goal unfolded from both a Liverpool and a Rangers point of view.
Yeah, in our analysis before the game, we pulled up the Arsenal game, and it seems like the Rangers manager, Gio Van Bronckhorst, has replicated that there. You see Arfield on the back of the midfield there. The two guys in midfield for Liverpool can't get close, can't see Arfield. As soon as the transition hits here, they win the ball back, he's off. No chance for Gomez to react, no chance for Henderson to react because he's playing behind him, and it's a wonderful finish. And we said before, if the midfielders can join in these positions here, they'll have a great chance.
Do you know something? I actually think it's a top-class goal from start to finish. It's got a bit of everything in it. It's a diagonal ball. They win the second ball, they press, the ball comes back from Colak to...
Let's hear it.
Go on! Yeah!
You enjoyed it.
I really did. That was about 10 years of travelling up to Berwick and going to Peterhead and everything. And now we're scoring against Liverpool in the Champions League. But getting back to the goal, had a little bit of everything in it. Second ball from Colak came back to Jack. Lovely weighted pass. I thought the initial touch from Arfield, I beg your pardon, to take it away from Gomez was first class, but not as good as the second touch.
It was a beautiful finish, but as Rio touched on, it was carbon copy of that Arsenal first goal for Liverpool. Not the finish, not the end bit, but the way they've carved through the midfield, the way they've got their men in behind the midfield too of Liverpool.
And at that point, Rangers in the ascendancy, looking brilliant, and they will be frustrated with the way that the equaliser came about.
Yeah, I thought McGregor could possibly have grabbed this before it went out for a corner, Jake. Maybe there. Once it bounces, I think he's stretching. I think he might be a bit too late, but I thought he could have prevented it. And then this is a brilliant corner. Firmino's got real strength, just pins his man, Tavernier, and nods it into the net. I just think, though, and Rio just mentioned before, somebody in that front post, you can't have Sakala letting that ball go over into that man. Someone like Drogba, Rio said, would head 50 of those away a season. It's a specialist position. Far too easy from Rangers.
Sakala got caught under the ball immediately. You see in one of those clips there, he's under it, you don't know where he is. He's not somebody you can trust in that front post area. Gets caught under it and they get punished.
I think, Rio, and I'm sure you might agree, when the ball, if I'm the front man and I'm Sakala and you're Firmino, I'm side on, just about side on. I'm not facing the way you can't see the danger. I'm there so I can rough idea where the ball is, and I don't let him in front of me, and he's touched tight.
And you want him on his toes.
100%.
No space.
Yeah, okay. If you're wondering whether Ali's enjoyed that first half, he's starting to lose his voice, so I think that probably tells the story.